It's a beautiful area for sure, but I'm really struggling with the altitude. Kind of stuck in. Llegamos a Cusco. Our first day, we're struggling with the elevation. Our fifth cup today.
Yep, about them.
Required taste. Or as Nikki says, it's required taste. That was delicious.
That was really good.
How was your first day in Cusco, my love?
Sleepy. Very sleepy.
Yeah, it's time to go to bed. We
Lot
woke up
A lot of coca tea.
a lot of coca teas.
Coca leaves chew,
Yeah,
but still sleepy.
still sleepy.
I think we're
Woke
doing
up
it
at-
wrong.
Woke up at 6 a.m. to leave Mancora. We've been going all day. And I think it's time for bed because tomorrow we go to Machu Picchu.
Yay!
Buenas noches, world.
Buenas noches.
See you mañana. Vamos a Machu Picchu. We're getting a private tour of the gardens, the orchid gardens of the Belmond Hotel. Kind of stuck in. It's beautiful. Look at this.
Oh, and it's original. This is original.
The original Inca trail here. Not too shabby. Maybe on our next visit we'll come here.
So while this pretty footage plays, I'd like to give you all a bite-sized history of Machu Picchu and the Incan Empire. First is location. Why did the Incans choose to build a city atop a mountain nestled between the Amazon rainforest and the Andean mountains, so far from the capital of Cusco? This area, the Sacred Valley, is rich in biodiversity, and due to the natural elements and altitude, is well protected from invasion. Machu Picchu was built to serve as a laboratory and education facility for the best minds of the empire. Citizens were chosen and brought here to study agriculture, spirituality, and astronomy. The men farmed different crops on the terraces, many of which we still enjoy today, such as potatoes, tomatoes, corn, peaches, apples, the list goes on. They would tinker with the genes of the crops to produce flavorful and resilient varieties that would then be shipped off to Cusco to feed the whole Incan Empire. Fun fact, Peru has more than 2,500 varieties of corn that range in size and color, and more than 40 different ecosystems, which practically makes this place a heaven on earth for plants, insects, and animals. 60% of Peru's biodiversity is found here in the Sacred Valley. But back to Machu Picchu. Robert and I were told many, somewhat conflicting stories about the collapse of the Incan Empire and the abandonment of Machu Picchu. I'm still not sure which one to believe, so I will recount the top 3 here briefly and let you decide which one you think is most likely. Collapse due to Spanish invasion, theory number 1. The Incans were clairvoyant and foresaw the Spanish conquest during a ritual ceremony, and thus decided to abandon Machu Picchu before it could be attacked. Collapse due to Spanish invasion, theory number 2. The Incans were alerted by the powers in Cusco of the conquistadors' arrival and decided to send the men of Machu Picchu to join the forces to help fight. The women and children left behind did not know how to farm or hunt animals and thus died slowly of starvation. Collapse due to Spanish invasion theory number 3. The Incans at Machu Picchu were alerted of the conquistadors' arrival by those in Cusco and decided to abandon the city so as not to let the knowledge and farming know-how fall into the hands of their captors.
Okay, our wonderful guide Danny just told us something super cool, that this tree here looks like pine. This one is called 𝑴𝑶𝑻𝑰𝑽𝑨𝑻𝑰𝑍 in Spanish, and they had this obviously during the Incan Empire, and they used it to make an antibiotic that helped them protect against smallpox. So when the Spanish came, they infected and killed the Incan king, but the rest were able to inoculate pretty well using an antibiotic with this 𝑴𝑶𝑻𝑰𝑽𝑨𝑻𝑰𝑍, which is so cool. They were really advanced in medicine. Badass. One more thing here. He said that these structures here are triangular because obviously we are here among the mountains and the tectonic plates, and because of all the movement shifts, triangular structure is the most stable. When there's an earthquake, it's the most likely to stay standing. Really smart. Look how developed. It's so beautifully preserved still. So cool. She has places to be. She's busy.
It's a very busy lemon.
We're getting the VIP treatment today on day 2 with our guide Nilo. He removed one of the ropes so we can go up here into this place. I don't know what there is yet. Look at that! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's so much greener than I expected. Like, there's so many different plants and animals. It's like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Well, except it's on a mountain. We're in the convent right now where the Sun King would keep his elected virgins. I'll show you their quarters. Each of the women had their own room. The whole convent was guarded by eunuchs because they would take them when they were around 7 years old, keep them here until they were 18, until they were ready to serve the king. And wow, they had space, and they weren't really allowed to mingle with the other elected virgins. That's why they had these windows, so they could speak, but they weren't really allowed to have much contact. And the Sun King had about 200 to 300 of these concubines once they reached maturity and were able to serve him. He had a whole harem of about 300. Must be good to be king. I wanted to show these rocks because they were all perfectly cut to fit like this. All of the spaces are equal. So precise. The spaces are all the same.
Clean water for different tonalities. Now I am going to put the cochineal powder, the insect powder. Look at this, the wool is 100% baby alpaca, adult alpaca, and sheep, no acrylics, no synthetics. Look at this. Wow. The first color, purple and yellow. For second color, now I am going to put the salt from Mares for different change and fix the color. Look at this.
Wow.
Orange color. The zigzag represent the mountains, Puma's gloves, Puma's eyes. Look at this, the borders represent Inca princess eyes or llama eyes. This one is handmade.
She's in Spanish.
¿Español, amigo? Sí, una.
Just arrived in this super cute little town to have some lunch with our tour group. And it's this massive old Spanish style hacienda with a pretty fabulous view. In the backdrop. Wouldn't mind taking myself a little space here. I wonder if they're renting out any spaces. Today we're touring it again. We've come to the Sacred Valley where they used to have the laboratorios, different terrazas where they would plant different crops. And behind me actually are the tombs, the cementerios of the Incans. When they passed, they were mummified, their intestines, their internal organs were removed, and they were buried adorned in gold and silver in the fetal position so that they were ready for the next life, because they believed in reincarnation. So they were buried in the fetal position as babies, ready to start things anew when they were born again. It's such a beautiful area, so green. There is so much vegetation, cute little alpacas, lots of different butterflies. But wow, the altitude has really been a struggle here since we arrived in Cusco. Oh, but I just can't catch my breath. Like, I feel like I'm breathing, but there's just no oxygen coming in. This place definitely builds strong people and strong plants because the weak cannot survive up here. I'm feeling like a weak one today. We take frequent breaks and we get through it. We're gonna start our trek to Rainbow Mountain, and I have a wad of coca leaves to help against the altitude. Y'all, this trek is no joke. At about 5,000 meters above sea level.
Massive case of altitude sickness, and I had to be on oxygen for about 15 minutes, which was a first, and I hope a last.
Oh, wait.